we need men is a topic that I'm going to be discussing today. There's this viral clip that's been going around TikTok where an interviewer asked women if we need men, and here are their answers.
Do we need men?
Fuck no, fuck men.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No?
We don't need short men.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do you need a man?
Oh, God.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No? Do we need men?
We need men to make us stupid.
Do we need men? Do we need men? Do women need men in this world? Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because we can be strong, independent women.
Do we need men?
Like, not necessarily, but like, if I can look at them, like, we need a man to look at.
Do we need men?
No!
No, why?
Nobody needs men!
Really?
We do not need men!
Why not? Why don't we need men?
Why would I need men?
So what can you get from someone else that you don't get from a man?
The only thing I can get from a man that I can't get anywhere else is dick.
Okay.
And I don't need dick.
Now that was just a portion of the clip. The rest of the clip, he goes around asking men if we need women, and look at the contrast of the answers that men give and the reasons why.
Do we need women?
Yes,
We do. Why?
these women are awesome.
Do we need women?
Of course,
Why?
You do need one.
they're beautiful.
Do we need women?
Women make us feel compassionate, affectionate.
Do we need women?
Of course they do.
Do we need women?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're hot.
And what else?
They're hot.
Do we need women?
I mean, shit, unless they're gay.
Do we need women?
Do we need women?
Yeah.
Yes, who's gonna do my dishes?
Am I surprised by the answers that the women gave? Honestly, no. I'm not surprised that the modern women that are here in the United States, the feminists, believe this. This is because this is what they have been led to believe, not realizing that society, the very society in which they take advantage of, was largely built by men. Both women and men need each other, and not just to play their societal roles, but for the very survival of the human race. Without men, there is no women. Without women, there is no men. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, a lot of women would argue, well, there are artificial pregnancies now where women don't even need sperm to make men. Well, those pregnancies aren't even viable. They die within a few days, if not weeks. I have this clip here that I'm going to play for you guys that shows the reality of the world.
Do we need men in our society? Listen to this.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because they suck.
Okay, well, some bad news to these man-hating feminists. I am so sorry to break this to you, but we absolutely need men. And not just for the sake of our population not dying out forever and the world coming to an end, but, well, men are imperative in the most important fields in the world. Men make up 85% of the military. That house or building you're currently sitting in, guess what? Almost 99% of construction jobs are man-made. Firemen, 92% men. Pilots, 91% men. 82% of farming jobs proudly occupied by men. And I just said the word man-made. It's something I celebrate, but it's interesting because I was just thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what? There is going to come a time, probably not too far off from now, where the word man-made is no longer even allowed to be used. I can just see the liberal nut jobs coming after the word man-made. I mean, the writing is already on the wall, as we have already seen. But back to other men-dominated industries that we would clearly suffer without. Landscapers, well over 99% men. 99% of carpenters are men. Inventors, fishermen, policemen, also all male-dominated professions. So, guys, let's just cut the BS. Even if you hate men or embody the most extreme forms of feminism, there is no way you can say that we do not need men. And don't forget, if it wasn't for a man, you would not be alive. And that is a scientific fact.
Now, as you saw there, 85% of the men make up the military. Over 70% make up firefighting. Over 90% make pilots. Over 98% make up construction workers. those nice, comfy apartments and houses that these liberal feminist types live in were 99% made by men. Now I have this other clip here, and then we're going to get into the actual topic that I want to discuss, because I want to react to this video by The View, who talked on this very topic. I don't know how old you guys are, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but back in the day, there was this show called Survival, and they had one season where they had the men face off against the women. So a group of women were let off on an island, and they had to survive by themselves, and then a group of men were left at a remote part of an island, and they had to fend for themselves. I do have a clip here that I want to play for you guys, just to show you the stark reality of what would happen if men were no longer in the picture.
We're not letting those muscles discourage us at all.
To get to the island, the women have no choice but to swim to the shore in the clothes they're wearing.
No dry clothes and no fire. It's gonna take hours.
We got 0 sleep last night. We stayed up the entire night, and we haven't had fire because it rained and put it out, so now we haven't eaten. There's the sun. I have no shame. I've never been so miserable. I couldn't get my tail over there to that fire fast enough. Come on, guys.
So as you guys saw in that clip, in just 24 hours, the men had found or made shelter, made fire, and found food. In 24 hours, the women were crying, they were wet, they didn't sleep, they hadn't built any fires, they hadn't built any shelters, and all they did was complain. And that's the reality of what would happen if men would disappear. Within 24 hours, the very society that these women take advantage of would vanish. They would no longer exist. Society would be destroyed. I don't even know what these women would do for food, because even 70% of farmers are men. So what would the women do for food? Because a lot of these people that live in these cities and live in these places, very comfortable, very nice, think that food just grows in supermarket. They don't know what it actually takes to grow food, especially at a large scale, to feed billions of people around the world every day. Now, I want to get into this clip by The View because it shows the utter contempt that the women of The View have for men and even the men in their lives.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean,
this is Anna Navarro. She's supposed to be a conservative, but if she's on a panel on The View, you know that she's as conservative as I am a leftist. She's not conservative at all, because conservative women understand that both men and women need each other. Conservative women don't call conservative men, or just men in general, useless, just like conservative men don't call women useless. And she's saying this from a studio that was more than likely built by men, in a building that was more than likely built by men, light bulbs that were invented by men. Her producers and her crew is probably most likely men, but men are useless, according to Anna Navarro.
love it. And by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip.
Listen, I don't know what this has to do with anything. What does gay men and straight men have anything to do with anything? It's just playing this shit for brownie points. This is actual woke garbage. I watched the video that Abba and Preach did on this very topic, and Abba had a very fair point. This is actual woke garbage.
This is actually woke garbage. Yes. Men are useless, but not the gay ones. I would never, ever say anything bad about the LGBTQ community, because they're on the bottom layer. And all the people who are straight and cisgendered are all oppressing the people on the bottom layer. And that's just how society functions. There's layers of oppression. And through intersectionality, I could recognize that gay men are very much different than straight. Shut the f up with this corny shit.
Why do you need to bash men but need to differentiate between straight men and gay men? Could you not gossip with women? You need to gossip with men, gay men at that. And gay men are still men. So if men are useless, by default, that makes a gay man useless in your eyes.
Like gay men, nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing.
And again, this is supposed to be a conservative woman talking about gay men and how they help her around in her life. Yeah, she's not conservative at all.
Doing harm to yourself like gay men. But with the exception of somebody like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like my husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth.
Listen to what she just said there and compare that to the clip I played from the survival show and really think about who would be the group that needs the other group. It takes a village of women to make sure that this man is not living his own filth and emaciated, when in reality, if we left the women, again, by themselves to fend for themselves for a week, and we left the men by themselves to fend for themselves for a week, who do you think is most likely to come out alive in that situation? It's not the women. This woman has utter contempt for her husband. I would advise him to run for the hills. He should not be with this woman. But you know what happens? Since we live in a patriarchal society, according to these women, she would more than likely get half his assets. So it's a lose-lose situation for the quote-unquote useless man who can't do anything for himself, but would have to give up his fortune if he decided to walk away from this woman who clearly does not love him as a man.
You know. Yeah. But you guys, I feel you guys are married to people that are more.
I have Handy Manny at home. No, he fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables.
I don't agree much with Sunny Hostin on her views, but she's a woman that clearly values her man. Now, she called him a handy manny. Kind of insulting, to be honest. But at least she's honest that she has a husband that cares for her and does things that he needs to do around the house. He plays his role, and I'm assuming she plays hers. But notice the rest of the women on the panel, how they were shaking their head, basically utter disgust that another woman would talk about her man in such a positive manner. Because these women are actually bitter. They're probably just married for the sake of appearances. They don't actually love the men that are part of their lives. They probably don't even love their fathers.
I enjoy all the man stuff.
So wait a second. I know what you're going to say, but wait. She's really talking about a servant, let's face it. No. It's a handyman she's talking about.
No, it's a handy manny.
Oh, it's a handyman with benefits.
We do not have...
Well, but the things that you're describing, you could pay somebody to do that. We're not talking...
Yeah, just like you can pay somebody to cook and clean and do the dishes and take care of the kids, which are traditionally womanly duties. So what is she talking about? You can even pay women for sex. Prostitution has been the oldest profession on this planet. So why couldn't I pay a woman for everything that a woman is supposed to offer in a marriage when I can just pay somebody to do it? What you're talking about is a servant.
Talking about that. What about the inner life of a man? That's what this is about.
I need my man 3 to 4 times a week. And
good for you guys.
Listen to this misandrous garbage that she's talking about. She needs her man 3 times a week. That's it. The double standard of what's allowed on TV is actually very crazy. Because you know that if there were any men, a panel of men on national daytime TV that said, I need my woman 3 times a week because all I care about is her hole, they would be canceled on the spot. That show would be done. They would be made to come out to apologize, and they would be shunned from society. But women talking about men like they're just some body parts is totally allowed.
And then the rest of the time I need a wife. Because I've always said that...
Everyone needs a wife.
No, I tease Vicky, my producer, in the morning. I was like, if you'd like to join Max and I, not in that way, but like, Vicky and I could kill it as a household runners. Like, we would be laughing, giggling, doing all the things, and Max would be so psyched I was wasting all my words somewhere else anyway. So it would be a perfect combo. And the other day, Caleb said to me, this is my youngest son, he said, Mama, I want a spare mom. And I didn't know what he meant. And he's like, he said, Genevieve has a spare mom. And I realized the parents were
that, a
divorced.
nanny?
No, divorced. An extra mom, like 2 moms. And so I asked him, because at first I was a little wounded. I was like, what am I not doing? You know, and he's like, no, I just think at bedtime, you always have to pay attention to the other kids too. And if we had a spare mom, dad and you could, you know, then you just get to focus on me. And it was so sweet. He didn't ask for a spare dad, by the way. He asked for a spare mom.
I took this totally differently in how I prepped because broadly speaking, I feel like men have proven largely useless. Like I think in the political moment, the people who are saying what needs to be said in my party, it's all women. The very few men, with the exception of Mike Pence and a few others, are saying what they need to. But in life, like I need my husband. I don't know if I need any other men, but he is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Men are largely useless, yet men have largely built society, the very society that lets her sit on a panel and talk about how garbage men are, the very society in which she's comfortable in. Again, I just liked if there was some way to actually run this experiment and just get rid of all the men for 1 week, and then we would just all appear after 1 week just to see what happened. I would actually love that. And then do vice versa, have all the women disappear for 1 week and see what happens afterwards. That would be actually amazing, just as some sort of like thought experiment. That would be crazy. But we all know what the reality of the situation is, that if men disappeared, the largely useless men, society would literally collapse within 24 hours and we would come back to literally a destroyed world. That's literally what would happen.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's what we're all saying. We like our husbands. We just don't need men beyond that.
Yeah, wait till you're married 20 years and you'll see how replaceable.
See, what I don't understand is that I'm assuming a lot of the women on this panel also have boys. The blonde lady did say she has a boy. She thinks her man is just a body part for her to use 3 to 4 times a week. Other than that, he's largely useless. Is that what she's teaching her young son? That he is a useless person as a man? Is that how he's going to be growing up, being told by his mother that the fact that he is a boy makes him useless? And then we wonder why we have these men that grow up hating themselves or turn to the red pill movement, because you have people like this idiot saying that men are useless and you only need them for one thing. And then the red pill movement is telling these men, hey, you're not useless. And guess what? You should be able to get women. This is what you should be doing. And they gravitate towards that. How do you expect somebody to gravitate towards your political side or your beliefs when you're telling them they're trash? It makes absolutely no sense.
I think that the reason women can stay married for as long as they do is because they have a lot of girlfriends.
They have a village.
They have girlfriends. Because I always have to initiate the conversations. He'll step up, but I have to
thought you were going to
start
say
them.
initiate.
I just told you guys, I have...
She's saying this when in America, 80% of the divorces are initiated by women. And you have a 50-50 chance of actually making it in your marriage. I don't know what she's talking about. Men are usually the ones that are okay to stay in a marriage. Women are happy to walk away with half your shit. But you're useless.
I have 8 girlfriends from Panama here who are girlfriends for 50 years since they were in kindergarten.
Oh, I love that.
And they were saying yesterday that they've gone through divorces, they've gone through challenges, and having that village of women has made it possible.
Well, we
for
are
them.
more collaborative than men. I think there have been studies that say that women have much closer friendship relationships than men do.
Because I think we have to make a difference, differentiate gay men.
No, gay men are
in their own category.
Yeah, but we're not married to gay men, okay?
Oh.
But women have conversations about their feelings. Men talk about
It's
sports,
socializing,
cars, all that stuff.
I don't know. My husband talks about his feelings with his
Maybe he's
friends.
gay. Next.
It's funny because these are the same women that would tell you that they want their men to be more open, more in tune with their feelings, yet will call you gay for simply doing what they ask. That's why when a woman tells you to be more open as a man, do not listen to them. The fact that a lot of women actually think that we don't need men shows that our society's collapsed, and shows why there has been a study that's been done that highlights the fact that men are becoming more right-leaning, more conservative, while women are trending liberal. It's because the right is telling men that they're not useless, that they're good for society, that society needs men, while the left is telling men that they're useless and that they should hate themselves. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, follow me on social media, and join the Discord link. It's in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.